country investment in strategic industries. So for example, in cocoa, should Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire not join forces to transform the sector and add value?
Thank you. And right in front of him, there's a gentleman in a maroon tie. He's right in front of me here. If you could take the microphone to him.
I'm sorry, but do we mention names? Or Naif Haddad with CCC. The question I have actually is, first, I totally agree with everything that has been said, but the question is, where is education in this? Is there education to the ones who are not even able to think how they can get education from villages, remote areas? Personally, I've been all over Africa, and it makes me so sad when I see the looks at so many little kids that are not having that chance. So where is that in it, please?
Okay, and finally, Vuyo, your question, and that's the last question, unfortunately. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to, my name is Vuyo Mahlati, I'm from South Africa. It's very encouraging to all the panelists, the President and the ministers, to actually deal with the difference between poverty, particularly absolute poverty and inequality. So my question is specifically, how are we, having recognized that, and also from a perspective of the MDGs 2015, where absolute poverty was the focus in terms of the MDGs, and the fact that those were distribution neutral. As we move forward from an Africa 2063 perspective, how are we going to make sure that we deal with issues of distribution and ensuring particularly that we extend further the issues that deal with women to link what I believe the case we're dealing with of the girls is a reminder to us of the importance of linking insecurity with the issue of inequality. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of you for your questions. Let's start with the first question that was posed to Nigeria's finance minister, the question of social safety nets and accessibility.
Well, thank you very much. On the social safety net issue, I think the starting point is really to maybe paraphrase or repeat what Prime Minister Duncan of Cote d'Ivoire said. When you talk to many people, what they want is a decent job. You know, they really don't want handouts as such. So we have to be careful when we're thinking of a safety net. So the first safety net we think about is really how to create more jobs for people. But beyond that, you also have to admit that in the immediate, even if you create the jobs, just as they found in Brazil, there may be some people who can't take it up because they don't have the skills. And that's where the safety net comes in. And some people who are very vulnerable. And so what we have been doing is looking around the country to see what we're doing. And if you look at different states within Nigeria, there are states that have very good programs, you know, to try and take care of their population. It could, in different areas. Some it's health, some it's education, some it's agriculture, which is part of the safety net. And then you look at the federal government, and we also have programs here and there. But the whole picture, well, how do you say, the sum of the parts do not amount to a whole. So you come away with a feeling that in this country, we don't really have a safety net program. So what we are thinking is taking some of the good examples at state level, where governors have done good things, at federal level, where we've also done some good. I'll just give a couple of examples. And you know, some states have done very well on maternal mortality, in making sure that women don't die. We look at those examples, they don't die in childbirth. The federal government, under a program by the president, has also done well in the program of saving 1 million lives. You know, and 400,000 lives. You ask for numbers. The calculation nice. 7,000 health workers were trained through this program and sent into the rural areas. We actually have names, and 400,000 women were helped. We have their names by ward, so we can show it. And then we have, there's another program in Kano, conditional cash transfers to get girls into school. 40% enrollment improvement has happened. Even this saving 1 million lives is tied to a conditional cash transfers program. Right. So what we're trying to do is now say to ourselves, let us join hands, let's get a group together to think through this.
Right.
What have the states done well? Let's take the programs working there and in the federal government and ideas from elsewhere and build a comprehensive safety net that targets education and health. Let's do it for the next 10 years. This is all brainstorming. We're still at the beginning. And put the money into it. Donors are putting in, hundreds of millions of dollars into these programs, but they're all scattered. Can we then develop a momentum, and a program that we can look at, where Nigerians can look and say, okay, this whole thing makes sense to me, and not just disparate things. So that's what we're doing with the social safety net, that we're just embarking on that journey. And we hope to be able to build this within the next year.
President Macky Sall, unfortunately, your name was mentioned when this question was raised, so it comes to you. Nobody spoke about science and innovation, mathematics as being catalysts for this growth, this development that we're talking about. What are you doing about it?
Je vous remercie. Je suis très heureux de pouvoir parler de
Thank you. I'm very happy to talk about science and mathematics because myself, I am a product of science as a geologist and geophysicist. You have asked the issue, the question about scientific education. For our development, we need a lot of engineers. We need a lot of technicians. We need diversified expertise. And paradoxically, we have the kind of teaching as well, especially as far as Senegal is concerned. We have general education whereby we put emphasis on university education, and where we do a lot of arts subjects, because when we had our independence, maybe our founding fathers were from the humanities, and the countries started humanities education. It's not a bad idea. I'm not against literature. You need everything to build a world, but you need to do things properly. You're going to have a country where 70% of people who go to university had a secondary diploma which is skewed towards the arts and humanities. We have had a reform in education in Senegal where we put emphasis on teaching mathematics and the sciences. And we have a new orientation now to have vocational training. We even have an institute for mathematics, which is an African institute for mathematics, whereby we select the people who have Nobel Prize in mathematics, those who have gotten prizes in mathematics, who should come and teach young Africans who have been chosen after their high school diplomas before they go for a master's degree, so that we can have a critical mass of scientists that can go into diverse areas. That was done, and that is continuing. We are also developing a professional subjects, courses in the university, so that Africa will continue to have quality resources. Because if you have natural resources without human resources, it is the others that will come and evaluate your natural resources. For example, the oil-producing countries, it is other geologists from elsewhere that will say you have oil or not. This is the quantity, this is the quantity and the characteristics. So finally, you are still dependent on them. So it is imperative that Africa should give a lot of resources to training professional officers, especially in high-tech sciences. You should think of high-speed train, aviation, and in all sectors, in medicine and any other sector. There's also agriculture as well. There is high-level education should be given so that our continent can make progress.
Minister, we are running out of time, so I just want to move on to the other questions, if that's okay.
I just want to give them information for half a minute. Parallel to this session of the forum, there was an African Innovation Prize that honored science and technology. 10 Africans were chosen. Wonderful work. And one of them won for technology that helps to set bones faster than ever before. Just to let you know that science and technology is great.
Paul Palman, your view.